too, but if Josh has got it already.
Oh,
Look, we're live.
We're good.
We're live.
Well,
yeah, because it doesn't show me live. It doesn't show me that we're live. It just says I'm going live. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Another exciting episode of Tarheel by Dark, which we apparently are live that Google hasn't told me about. Thanks, Google. It's been an exciting, if not interesting evening. This evening in the Hill. Bit of interesting developments in the way of a mysterious message that has appeared on everyone's phone this evening, as well as the recovery of a supposedly missing Kindred, one Harry Wallace. And this evening, the Kindred of the state have gathered together to celebrate his, quote, air quotes, recovery, in air quotes. We pick up the scene this evening at Castle McCullough in the what district? Whoa!
wasn't McCullough in Wake?
Yes, it
McCullough is
was.
in Wake. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Which is actually the Prince's district.
Mm-hmm.
It has basically been put out to all of the kindred of the state that are loyal to the Camarilla, that this party is occurring and all are invited. Specifically, the text message included evening quote unquote distractions. So we pick up the scene this evening with a number of the peerage already having been on site. Sam himself is very dressed to the nine this evening. I mean, he's dressed exquisitely dressed even for a Ventru. This night he's pulled out the Armani. He's even pulled out the fedora. He's went his better than Sunday best. We pick up the scene with the individual players here in the scene arriving to Castle McCullough.
Well, the rogue prince of the Ventru, Nathaniel Ashford, is kind of dressed in this very nice white leather button-down jacket, very nice gold chain wrapped around his neck, wearing the Ashford family signet ring, which is a blue diamond about the size of your own eyeball. So, essentially, he's just showing off his opulence in a whole other way.
Cynthia's in Alice's blue dress and trying to currently eyeball the diamond.
Literally, the fiery-headed blonde just kind of looking disdainfully. I wish you would at least ask me before you continually borrow things from your sister's closet.
Damn it, it's mine now. So, I kinda like it. It gives me good memories.
Knuckling forehead psychotelemetry. Okay.
Lucas walks in. He hasn't changed since the quasi raid. He is in full tactical gear, except he has changed one thing. The jacket that he had on previously basically was looked like a tactical jacket. Now it just has security written across the back of it.
Which you are stopped momentarily at the door when they see that you're dressed that way, until they happen to see the word security written across the back.
And if they really push it, he provides his licenses to carry. And he'll head into the main room. Offer a bow to the prince and head to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, what you see in this main room is a large open, what looks like almost looks like a medieval dining hall. of sorts, but it's been retrofitted, so to speak. Um, there actually is a series of instruments that have been set up in the corner of the room. You guys have apparently arrived, you know, super early, as you see that the this little makeshift orchestra of sorts is doesn't even have a conductor at this moment. They're still you can still hear that they're still tuning, and the typical table and chairs that you would expect to see in this dining hall have been removed in lieu of a single long table, almost Viking in style, at the right there against one wall.
So kind of nodding with approval towards the architecture, I'll just kind of plop down, close to the conversation, but he'll just kind of be relaxing, trying to pop his back and get his mind off of the rather odd supernatural occurrences. Just muttering under his breath, no more magic, no more magic, no more magic, no more whammies, please, just no. Uh, just kind of looking around a bit curiously, seems like everything is not quite ready to pop off.
It's about that time that you see the doors of the main doorway of the castle opens, and you see something. You think you saw it, but you're not 100% sure. And this is for everyone that's already at the castle. You're pretty sure you just saw Duchess Andy and Duke Marquez heading into the building. She on his arm, and more than a way of just eye candy until they became aware of the fact that they were being watched. At which time they immediately reverted to more of a professional relationship.
And the Ashford Bull Crap Radar scores 460.
Yep.
Nice.
Ashford's
Yeah, I
just throwing
saw that.
flags everywhere. Yeah, Ashford's throwing bullshit flags all over the place.
He saw the first pose and went, "Yep, uh-huh."
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas doesn't give a crap.
Honestly, I'm just glad to have the chance to relax.
Shortly
Distracting.
behind.
Oh,
I'm
go
going
ahead,
to
Walt.
say this. Shortly behind those two, um, Harry and a somewhat attractive female come rolling in the door. He's in his wheelchair, and he seems rather comfortable, despite what's happened earlier in the evening. And
Harry will get a nod from Lucas.
he'll nod back, and sort of, he's actually got, unusually for him, he's actually got a full sleeve button-up shirt with a red tie, uh, and you know, he's of course got his hat, uh, and by the way, whenever he was dropped off before, previous scene when he was dropped off before, he still had his hat on. So, but yeah, he's got his hat on, and he's in a matching, not suit coat, but the pants and shoes and belt all are matching. They're gray or tan and black. He just nods. Thank you again, Mr. Saint.
Of course.
Your phone buzzes. If you
Harry's?
if Lucas's.
Oh,
Lucas
okay.
would pick up his phone.
You have a picture text that has came in to you.
Okay.
It is a picture of one of your security vans parked out near one of the roads that you remember traveling down to get to the castle.
Okay. Anything special about it?
No, just one of your regular security vans.
Okay. Do I recognize the phone number?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Whose phone number? Whose phone number is it?
It is not someone that is in your employee per se.
Okay.
So you have dialed this number in recent nights, and I will leave it at that.
Ah. Gotcha. He'll excuse himself and head towards the apparent location of the van.
All right, so we'll get right back to that in just a couple of minutes. And you head back and we'll stay here in the castle as other characters begin heading inside.
Wherever Cynthia is, she just kind of looks around. How can the prince just get this up just way quickly?
Practice, 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 practice.
It's only been a few hours since I called, though.
Yes, but think about how many centuries the man's been alive to practice these social graces.
She shrugs. Fair point.
It's about that time you hear a voice that you are familiar with. You specifically, Mr. Ashford, as the voice walks by. 237 of them to be exact, as the voice continues walking.
Now Octavian is startled and then quickly looks over his shoulder. Oh, hello.
Just has a very playful, wide, shit-eating grin on his face, and he just kind of knuckles down into his seat, trying to repress a laugh. See, all about situational awareness.
You see, you feel Sam places a hand on your shoulder and a hand on your shoulder as well, Cynthia, and he speaks. Well, tonight is about camaraderie, friendship, and me not throwing furniture. So,
She
eat,
looks around.
drink, make yourself merry.
She looks
Harry
around.
looks at his wheelchair protectively and then back up at Sam. And grins.
She looks around. Well, at least you're all pinned down tonight.
Yeah, the only actual chairs that you see are over in the makeshift orchestra pit, and the few that are pushed up under this long table.
Don't go throwing people, my prince.
You've never heard of Kindred toss?
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
I
fun,
want
especially when it's shovelheads.
to.
And let me give you the face he's pulling. He's giving this kind of face when he says it.
She kind of ponders a minute. Well, that would be fun. I mean, wait, never mind.
Well, here's to hoping, as you see, Sam procures a fluted glass off of a table there at the end of this long table, as he turns back to the gathered party. Here's to hoping we don't have to deal with any of those anytime soon.
At this, meanwhile, Harry has just arrived, looking rather well, not disheveled, but just looking rather tired despite his travels.
Oh, and first thing Ashford does upon seeing Harry, here, man, let me get you a drink. It sounds like you probably had a late night of it.
Well, all those time zones do still affect me, even though.
So yeah, he'll kind of slink back to the bar and get a little private selection going. Pour a couple glasses.
Oh, and when you say bar, Sam pulled out all the damn stops.
Uh-huh.
You
Stella.
see bottles that are seated back there that you've never seen outside of Sam's personal office before.
Personal joy of libation and anesthetization. Whee! Alright. So, after going back for a particular bottle, he'll pour two glasses and just kind of pass one over gently to Harry. Personally been to Tunisia once. I don't think I would have done it again, but glad you got some work you felt like you needed to do done.
Yeah, well, sometimes a little helping others helps one clear one's own head.
True enough.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
The
I've
other
got
Harry.
yeah.
The other Harry actually rolls up to his namesake. Says, "How you been, Walsh?" and extends his hand.
Harry shakes it, and Walsh shakes it and says, "Been better. Long stay over the last few months. Picked up a few things I'm gonna have to be studying, and also got some ideas for a new social housing project for the state. If there's anywhere I can actually get it up and running, but that's a whole other
He,
ballpark for another day."
he immediately perks up and goes, "Biltmore Village.
Biltmore Village. All right.
Biltmore Village. Talk to me after this. We'll work something out."
All right.
As we cut outside out to that security van, where we see Mr. Saint is headed up to it, where you get a feeling, a bit of a sixth sense kicks in right before you feel what feels like a burlap bag get thrown over your head.
Okay. Aiming a.
You do not feel your arms or any of your extremities bound, but you do feel that bag get tossed on you.
Damn it. Oh. Gonna roll with it for the moment. What do they want?
You feel yourself get picked up. You
Okay.
hear you hear what sounds like the joints of a door being opened, and you feel yourself land in the back of what you're assuming is the van, as the door slams shut behind you.
You said my extremities are not bound?
Correct.
Okay. He is going to reach for his phone and dial David, but he is not going to say anything, and he's going to put it on mute. So David can hear, but nothing will come out of the phone.
All right.
All right.
A couple of seconds pass, and like I said, David, your phone does ring.
Yeah. He picks it up and he listens. Of course, he doesn't hear a voice yet, so he just stops it. He just waits, and nobody else has seen it yet. Has seen David, so he's on premises, but you don't know where he is.
Mr. Saint, we presume.
Who are you?
You feel the bag removed from you, and you find yourself seated in the back of, yeah, pretty much, you agree, what it was is one of your security vans. How you know it's your security van is there's a practical there's a practical mobile computer network in the back of this thing.
Yep.
And as the bag is removed, you see seated in a what looks like a computer chair, so it's an office chair that's been kind of modified to kind of build into this van. You see a gentleman who is wearing a pair of headphones, almost like you would expect a air traffic controlman to wear. Though he does not turn to you, but he continues to speak as you see his eyes rotate from computer monitor to computer monitor. I would assume that you would know it was you that called us.
You are those individuals.
Say again, Ian.
I said, you are those individuals.
Oh, we'll just say that we are many things, but for you, we are apparently muscle.
I have a plan. It could be it could be very advantageous to everyone involved.
We are listening.
And he'll draw out Operation Crossing the Border.
Again, this gentleman's eyes do not leave the computer monitors until he happens to, until you begin drawing out the map. It's at that point that he turns to look at the map. It is ideal.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that.
It is ideal.
Require my joining of the camera.
Now, why would you want to go and do a stupid thing like that?
Because me joining the camera, it would pretty much guarantee that we could operate this plan operate this, call it a tribe, so to say, for lack of a better term, without interference.
If it is resources that you require, you need not reach to the wallets of the ivory tower.
It's not resources. It's the fact that if one of us was to, call it, fall on the sword for the moment, for, again, lack of a better term, we can make sure that the camera does not interfere in activities there, and would allow us, as long as we do not act aggressively towards this realm, then we would be open to operate as freely as normal without interference.
It was an ideal plan. And with that, we cut back into the castle.
Ha ha.
Prince, having turned to make that toast, he sets the wine glass down. As he turns back to look at the gathered assembly, his eyes happen to cuddle to where Mr. Walsh is seated, and you hear audibly, "Mr. Walsh!" as Sam makes a beeline specifically for the table.
Harry perks up from his drink and goes, "Ah, my prince, I'm still a little tired and jet lagged at the moment, but heard there was a celebration, so I thought I'd come over."
I'm sure. There's how many? 12 hours? 14 hours? Like,
Yeah, something like that. Those, what can I say? Getting back into town was a little bit hairier than usual, but
aha, I see what
And
you're doing.
your namesake chuckles at the pun.
yeah.
At the unintentional pun.
It's about this time that Faye arrives, and she also shakes her head. Well, I see that some things haven't changed. And the screen share that I've shared is about how she's dressed, and yes, she does have a fluffy white cat wearing a pink ribbon following at her heels. The cat
By the
yawns.
way,
The
that's
cat
one of
yawns,
those.
revealing larger than usual things.
Uh-huh. That's one of those.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hearing the voice, both Harry and David turn around. Ah, how you doing, Faye? And David specifically says, "And how's the little one?" And grins at it. And you see, it actually looks up at him and grins back. If a cat can grin.
Oh, cats can grin. Cats can grin.
Yeah, it actually looks back up at him and grins too.
All 30 of them seem to be doing very well.
Good.
This one in particular has been following me the last few days.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Been feeding it well, have we?
Mhm.
Good, good. That's the way to do it. Now, if you need some more tips, let me know. I'll be sure to help.
Mhm. I'll
But
let you know.
all I ask is that you let him come visit every once in a while, okay? Let all
Mhm.
of them come visit every once in a while. Okay. All right.
Yep.
And Harry just looks at him and then looks at you and the cat and just very slowly nods. He doesn't quite get it, but he kind of gets it. You can
The
tell.
castle door opens, and it's almost like something subtly moved right out of the room as a certain Tremere of Asian descent makes her way inside.
Okay.
Rolling perception empathy to kind of get a beat on what this chick is thinking, planning.
Oh, you know who she is. She's a Tremere regent. It's Haraway.
Oh, I know who it is. I'm just watching her micro expressions, basically trying to see if she's perturbed or if her emotions are giving away anything.
All right, roll it with sympathy.
Woo, boy! Good roll.
Not bad.
Well
Not
done.
bad.
Very well done. She is she's hiding it pretty well, but she's slightly perturbed at something. Though it doesn't seem to be this particular gathering in general.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So Ashford will just develop a kind of a slow, evil smile on his face, seeing the Tremere squirming on a hook right now. So he's just gonna quietly hunker down into his seat and start sipping his drink, feeling a bit more lighthearted.
Also, with that roll, we'll notice, and anyone else in the room can make this roll as well if you would like. You notice when Charlotte steps into the room, something changes with Marquez's body language.
What would it be? What would it be to roll?
Wits empathy.
Hmm. David's not in the room, so I don't. Not exactly in the room right now.
At standard diff.
But let's see.
2 successes.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this right.
There's something about his body language that changes. Specifically his action towards Andy.
Mm-hmm.
When she steps in, it's almost as if Marquez steps closer to Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Harry's clueless. Okay.
Ooh, look at the purple tree.
Yeah.
So what's empathy?
Yes.
6 dice, please.
Sure
That is a good question, Marie. What is empathy? Oh, you said wits empathy. My mistake.
Wow,
Ooh,
Gus.
holy moly!
You are tired.
Good.
I didn't expect that out of the mouth either.
I've been getting good rolls all night. I'm happy.
Not only did he
Ew.
step closer to her, only Marie sees this. Not only did he step closer to her, he looked to have stepped in front of her. His right hand reached back and basically brushed against her left wrist.
She just kind of nods and seeing what she's saying and continues to drink, so.
Caraway, noticing this extreme, mood deadening of the mood. You see, she heads over to where that orchestra pit has been set up, where the musicians had now begun to pretty much finished up singing and had picked up into a lively number of movements. You've heard a little Bach, little Beethoven, some Tchaikovsky in there, and you see she steps over to them, to which she produces what looks like a file folder. Out of this file folder, she pulls several sheets of paper. She begins handing them out. The musicians look at each other, somewhat confused. She nods assuringly. You see one of them shrugs, and they all seem to come to agreement. And as Miss Caraway heads over to the table, the orchestra picks up into a collection of John Williams movements. And those of you who do not know out of game who that is, John Williams was the composer for Star Wars. She remains quiet as she is seated, however.
Uh,
Just trying not to face desk at the freaking premiere antics now. Doing.
Something that you might not have expected. Anybody that's looking in Harry's direction, see, he hasn't picked up his hands and doing this, but you see that his right hand just kind of comes up a little bit and starts sort of halfway conducting the music as he's listening.
oh. Harry finishes his drink and takes a bit of a yawn and cracks his neck and says, "I've got to get back to it's been a long night, guys. I'm probably gonna I just came to pay my respects and hey, good to hear that you're back up and running, Harry. But in the meantime, I got to go and try to get myself some shut eye. I've got a long several nights coming ahead and plans, etc. that I want to talk to you guys about at a later time."
To that, you see
All right.
Sam winks as he extends his arm. Yes, Mr. Walsh. Yes, you do.
Yeah. And with that, Harry just shrugs his shoulders and heads out. And out of character, I'm gonna go take a nap because.
All
All
right.
right, yeah. Take care of yourself, man.
As Walsh is walking out, Harry just puts his hand up to his head with a call me sign, essentially.
Walsh nods and heads out.
And Faye calls after Harry Walsh. Call me if you need anything.
Will do. I'll probably be calling you in the next night or two anyway. And with that, Harry heads out.
Voice. You hear Andy's voice, which is the last voice you hear as you exit. Well, you can call me just because I'm a sexy beast. To which you hear Marquez.
Everybody knows that, Andy.
Marquez chokes slightly at that comment.
Mm-hmm.
And Wallace actually does say, "Everybody knows that, Andy."
Yeah, go ahead and get out of here, Guthrie. Get some rest, man.
Yeah, go ahead, sleep, dude.
Yeah.
Later.
And as Mr. Walsh is taking his exit, we cut back to the van. It was an ideal plan, but I simply failed to understand where it is that you need these Camarilla sycophants to pull it off.
It's a matter of he's considering his wording very carefully. Would you not prefer to have a land here that we can operate freely from without interference from the Camarilla, while at the same time not only having the support of, but the protection of. Don't get me wrong. I do not in any means believe we need the protection of the Camarilla, but and any air quotes it protection of the Camarilla, as it would while we'd have our free state, we'd also the district itself would be under Camarilla control. And he air quotes the control again in a way that David never get. It's subtle, so it's not. He is clearly adding the air quotes in person, but speaking completely normally. So through the phone, it sounds like he is having a normal conversation, but he is adding in the air quotes in the places where he wants to.
You're gonna make me roll.
It's only through the phone.
You're gonna make me roll.
This gentleman now taking his eyes.
I don't care.
Gentleman now takes his eyes away from the monitors, locking eyes with you. You would have us relegated to some Vatican State.
The way you put it does not is not how I visualize it in my head.
I am sure you must understand that what you are proposing is revolutionary to
I
the
missed
point
that
of.
last bit.
I'm sure you understand what you're proposing is revolutionary to the point of failure. And what is it about these Camarilla? These people that make you think they're not gonna just step in there and demolish this free state?
Because in ways it is in their best interest not to as well.
Elaborate.
Well, and he'd reach down and hit the off button on the phone.
Aww. But
To which
we were having a good information session.
to which
Come on.
to which David in the back of his mind silently goes, fuck.
Not exactly, but close enough.
Damn it.
Like, oh,
And
come
he'd be
on.
like-
Click.
And he'd be like, well, think about it. Both sides view that they have the upper hand because both sides believe that they are the ones that are in control of the district, when in reality it is us who is in control of the district. However, if they think that for as long as they think that they have a group of our clan so-called in their back pocket, it remains in their best interest to allow us to operate, in which we can funnel great strength into the region, and at a later time, when it is most advantageous to us and most profitable to us, we can break it away.
There is one that resides in this state that you would be well behooved to speak with. A toreador of, and that sigh predicates the next set of words that he says. Flashy architect.
And his name is? Or her name is?
We are business associates. We are not yet allies. That name may come later.
So what you are so please don't interpret what I'm about to say as putting words in your mouth in any fashion. From how I am understanding what I am hearing, and I could be incorrect, is while you do not believe this to be an ideal plan, it does not sound like you are necessarily going to stand in the way of it.
Hello.
one is to fail, I believe that one should fail on their own accord. I do not believe in supplying the rope with which one hangs themselves.
He's just nodding and listening very carefully.
But as for our correspondence tonight, neither of us were ever here.
He's just nodding.
Oh, by the way, apologies for the bag. I had to be sure.
It is alright. It's been an interesting enough night that I decided this time not to throw a punch. And I'm glad that I did.
Very well.
And actually, he would actually give him a rundown of actually what happened during the night.
He holds up a hand, a rather scaly appearing hand. I have my sources.
And then there's a brief second, and then he goes, "Oh." It looks like he thinks something for a second, and then he shakes it off. And
Now, if I can be so frank as to kick you out of your own security van, you have an arrangement to attend. As you see, he taps on one of the computer monitors. That is looks to be security footage of the castle.
he goes to step out of the security van, and he goes. He turns back and he goes, "Can you at least fill it up?"
I'm sorry, Ian. What was that?
I said he steps out of the van and he looks back and he goes, "Can you at least fill it up?"
You get no response.
He just walks away. It was in the way of the voice of, "I don't mind that you borrowed it." You know what I mean?
Please top it off.
Yeah.
You know, good gentlemen.
And he'll head back to the castle.
Yeah. All right. In the castle, that the symphony has finished up those John Williams movements, as they have returned the sheet music to Miss Caraway. And actually, Lucas, you are walking in just as they are finishing the last couple of notes.
Wait, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Wait. As he gets inside the door, well, he walks inside the door as they're finishing up, and he gets a tap, tap, tap on his shoulder.
He doesn't even turn around. He just for the moment, for like the exact moment when the tap happens, he doesn't even turn around. He just goes, "Hi, David."
Hello.
Oh no!
And then he'll turn around.
I need you to know specifically what song they were finishing as you were walking in, Lucas. Specifically, the Imperial March.
Yep. I knew that was coming. As soon as he was like, I got a specific song, I knew it.
Yeah, I was hearing that coming.
And David just leans over.
Lovely applause.
We need to talk later.
He nods.
And let you go.
And he walks in.
Those of you that are close enough to Charlotte to hear this, and actually, if you'd like to make me a fate die roll here, and this is just the plus minus roll, just to determine if you're close enough.
For each of us?
Or yeah, for each.
Okay, Walter, can you roll me one?
Bingo is.
Josh, can you roll me one?
Rolling for Harry first.
Alright, fate is not.
Looks like mine was blank.
Yeah, you are going to hear something different.
Okay.
Harry's came up
I got
blank,
this.
so
Yeah,
I'll listen to what you tell Faye. And rolling for Ian.
Jess, sorry, babe, you got a minus.
Alright, so she's not going to hear it.
He was not close enough. He didn't
Alright.
get in time to hear it.
Alright, seems like.
He's distracted by doing it.
Yeah, looks like Ashford's going to be the only one that actually hears it. You actually hear, as they finish up those notes, under the applause, you hear Caraway speak. Maybe these fuckers are actually paying me some respect now. Those of you that rolled the blanks, here's something a little different. Maybe respect now, but not sure where it came from.
Okay.
This you hear Sam. Sam speaks. Very lively gentleman. Very lively gentleman. Now, Mr. Wallace, I understand that you've had some exploits over the last number of nights. Now, beforehand, I am expecting my child to walk through those doors any minute, so just be aware if the door's open. But would you care to regale us with the tale of what has occurred?
I'm gonna go ahead and do this. As he's saying it, the door's open and Jeremiah, Biltmore Josiah walks in. Like, sorry, Dad. But yeah, please, Mr. Wallace, go ahead. And he goes over and he doesn't stand right beside Josiah, but he stands a little bit off from him, just crosses his arms and listens intently. Harry says, well, I was sort of in a room for a while, so I don't know exactly what went on tonight. Maybe some of these other people can tell you, and he specifically looks at the ones that were in the previous scene. But I'll give you I'll give you the skinny on it. John Taylor and I worked on this thing partly to support him because he's been supporting us quietly, and partly to see what the Kindred would do if I went away. And a good number of them came to see me, came to get me. And for that, I applaud you. This is what the Camarilla is supposed to do. Work together. Especially when we have so many threats. But anyway, I've been supplying Mr. Taylor with supplies, with materials. You can probably guess what kind. And he has promised more support in future, if we'll have it. He will supply weapons. He vaguely mentioned he was working on armor, but he's going to require even more supplies of similar nature. We scratch his back, he scratches ours. I'm pretty much tapped for a while. I've already told him that this is the last he's getting from me for a little bit. He said it doesn't have to be from any of us. Any kind of the same supply will work.
Nathaniel will actually raise
Actually, at this, you see he sort of I'm gonna turn off the camera or turn the camera on. He does this, and he's showing the fang when he says it.
Nathaniel will actually raise a finger. If volunteers are required, I suppose the best way for myself to show a proper example would be to overcome my inherent mistrust of magical assistance. He kind of, you know, has to
He
really.
looks you straight in the face and says, "He's not the best of guys, but he's not a bad guy.
Mm.
He's not a Taniqua by any means, but he hasn't really done anything bad to us yet."
Mhm.
So,
Hear a voice. A voice slightly from the past. Somewhat of a husky African American voice. Different than my experience. From a
oh,
corner, from a corner, from an edge corner of the castle, out of the shadow, steps one Duke Michael Day. Though his appearance is strikingly different than the last time that you have seen him. The middle of his forehead, as well as each cheek, has been branded. Each cheek bears the brand of what looks to be a cross. Across his forehead is branded the letters E, capital E, lowercase p, H, the number 6 with a semicolon, and the numbers 1 and 3.
Hmm.
hang on.
Over.
Two people know this.
Mhm.
Two people know this.
I will tell you, these 7 are real. And they do have some power. I only mention this because your Mr. Taylor came up. Apparently, there is a great crusade of sorts by these madmen these madmen with a religious penchant to wipe out the entire state, be it of us, be it of the fur balls, even of even of the elves. Their intent is to cleanse, as they referred to it, the entire state. And the only reason I know this is because they are apparently rather uneducated with vampires, as they were not aware that staking our kind does little to silence our hearing.
I remember a while back when a couple of members of our community were exposed to a biochemical agent. Luckily, they were so terribly uninformed because it was a simple thing to stop when you know your own abilities and are able to use that ability to create antibodies. But yes, these men are not as foolish as they like to point themselves out to be. Those zealots, no doubt, they are.
Here is the
But what
problem.
about the helicopter?
Helicopter. Uh, we'll get to that.
Here's
Sorry
the
about
problem.
the
No,
biblical branding.
here is the problem, Mr. Ashford. While they are lacking in intelligence, and while I will agree that they are zealous in their nature, they are heavily numbered. Heavily numbered enough to cause an issue. Numbers approaching triple digits.
Hmm. Understood.
And Walt, you can feel free to explain to quote Ephesians 6:13 whenever you like.
Hmm. Harry turns to him to Day, looks at the symbology, looks at the the Bible verse, and says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand."
They are uneducated. They are zealous. And they are careless. But they are not stupid.
Can you
With the
remember anything about where you were held?
comment, the stupid comment, he points to his own forehead.
Uh-huh.
I apologize for interrupting the levity of this evening's festivities, but I have only recently escaped their clutches.
Harry puts up a finger. "Tell me something, sir. Did they specifically say he was working with them?"
His name was mentioned as a target,
Target. That's what I thought.
as were a number of children.
Good kids, those. All right. I'll let him know. Thank you.
Um, and Ashford will look over today. Do you remember anything about where you were held? Any distinguishing features, landmarks, anything? Color of the stone? Any sort of clues you can give me to hunt these bastards down?
All right. Walt, do me a favor real quick, because you'll probably be able to get to it without your computer crashing. I know
Yep.
I won't.
Yep. Go for
Pull
it.
up, pull up the admin corner real quick
Uh-huh.
and
I know the area.
give me a random one.
Okay. Go that one.
This will come from Tuesday, but it will be the information that Walt's about to give.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pergamos
also for
Holiness Church, Parmalee.
Alright. Noting that down on the sterno pad and basically stuffing it into his jacket pocket. He'll do some research on them later and find out when they're closed, if there's any old construction or anything like that done, and we get to the business.
Mr. Ashford, as far as I'm concerned, you can burn the whole fucking place to the ground.
Was this the prince that said this?
That was Day, I think.
That was Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And uncharacteristically for Ashford, you just see this gleeful, almost, you can just see a devilish kind of cast to his incredibly attractive smile. And he looks like he wants to take a bat to someone's head, like, repeatedly until they are Gulliver melons. But yes, he just seems to have to reel himself back a little bit.
Now, again, I apologize for interrupting the levity. So, I'm going to pretend, with no offense to Mr. David, assuming he is here, that none of this, as you see, he makes a circle around its face with his finger, that none of this looks like this. I'm going to try to enjoy myself this evening.
He will feel a brush across the back of his shoulders. Everybody sees the face change and the stuff goes away. He looks normal now. Day does. But you don't know where it came from. Like, it just changes.
Well, Michael hasn't seen his reflection, so
Oh, yeah.
he won't know.
But yeah, he feels the hand brush across his shoulders and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell him anything, just makes it happen.
Yep. All right. Also, the whole time this was whole time that Dave was speaking, I'm not going to have you roll for this one because this was obvious. The whole time that Dave was speaking, both Caraway, Andy, and Marquez all had an entire change of facial structure during this time. They went from, and I mean, in more than just a concern, that this was a abject pissed off. Any others?
Well, I was going to say, at the mention of the children, she would just kind of get sad and start rambling again.
All right, do it.
So that's basically, if anyone's near her, basically she's just rambling about demons' voices yet again. So
Faye's gonna pick up on this because Malky Network and
Yep.
and comes over and kind of tugs on Cynthia's arm. Children? Demon's voices? What? What happened?
well, earlier.
I spend a couple of weeks out of touch to finish working on the cat shelter, and what happened?
She basically just, again, flat out honesty, and everyone can hear this, by the way. goes up to Faye and says, "When we were rescuing Harry, I heard a weird voice that said that to rescue someone and help them, but I don't know how, but there was weird voice came from nowhere."
At this, hearing it, Harry rolls up and says, "If I may, it seems I also heard the voices. They told me a little more. It seems he was their charge at one point. They hold pieces of him.
Pieces of who?
Taylor. When he proves himself to them, he's allowed a little bit more. Can do a little bit more. I don't know how many pieces they have, or how many of them there are, but I'm assuming there's one apiece. One each. I don't even... As much as I spent with Taniqua, I still don't completely understand it.
How many
But...
are there? How many would there be?
Pieces? I don't even know. I just know he's got a few back, which is why he can do what he can do. He squints and thinks a minute. Apparently, she, Miss Johnson, Taniqua, helped split him apart and gave pieces of it, and working with what I'm assuming is angels, gave these pieces to them and gave him a new purpose. Anyway,
Yeah,
what?
fortunately, Mishi, I'm not able to see it right this second. So for me, put it in the chat, and rest of you guys are serious about this. Do not meta this.
Okay.
She basically nods to Harry and just is listening.
But he just says, she knew him way back when, obviously. He was her medic. I think that's what she said. He was her medic. Getting into all sorts of terrible things. Almost went Tremere. Almost. And when he says this, he looks at Caraway when he says it. And he just goes back down. They divided him up. Left him a little bit. Gave him a new teacher. He's been learning for heaven knows how long. And he's at this point. He can do certain things. He looks at the two that heard. He looks at her at Cynthia and says, "I heard the same thing that was said to you. I'm pretty sure."
She nods. What can I do?
With this, you hear glass shatter behind you.
What? Behind who?
Behind both of you.
Okay.
Quickly turns around.
Yeah,
So what did you
face spins around too.
where you see they had a seat at the table. Now he has stood, and you see as he opens his hand, you see him slightly trembling with a bit of glass stuck in his palm as he turns towards Harry. So what you're telling me is this guy is a threat. And you walked in there and supplied him.
He's not a threat. While I'll say currently, he's not a threat. I have a feeling if the right people work with him, he won't be a threat.
Well, rolling manipulation leadership to kind of politic here.
All right, go for it.
Spending a willpower, by the way.
Harry.
Hmm.
Cynthia gives you a note that just says, "I'm here to help if you need."
Oh boy.
He flips it open,
Well,
looks, reads it, looks at you, nods, and puts it in a pocket.
And she nods back.
Okay.
Gonna push that up to a higher difficulty. Alright. Because that was oh boy.
I have to say it. Josh, did we take all your luck away?
No, you didn't. You're fine.
In the meantime, Faye kind of pulls Cynthia to the side and and kind of pulls her to the side and says, a while ago when we were in Walsh's lab, I think it was, when was it? It was when I had the bad panic attack in Walsh's lab. I heard voices. They kept saying things like, he knows, he's coming for you.
Well, mine were mainly, you have to help them.
Right.
Well, so Nathaniel will kind of stand up. He'll basically, turn to address Day. Honestly, there's a logical flaw with this argument. This person is a powerful enough mage to create magical artifacts, weaponry. I've used one of these artifacts. He's capable of doing things that we're honestly not capable of defending against. Honestly, if he meant us harm, none of us would have walked out of there, let alone with Harry in tow. So the logical fallacy here is just kind of staggering. I understand that, yes, everyone with power of that high concentration is going to be a threat, but right now I'd be more concerned with the Inquisition that tattooed your face.
How close are you to him, Josh?
I'd say about 10 feet away.
Those of you, and actually you would see it too, those of you watching the little verbal exchange see Day moves a blur, a blur of African American speed moves across the room directly to Ashford, and Ashford, you feel his hand reach out and grab you by the collar. You see he lifts you slightly off the ground. The day that I take advice from some upstart, snob-nosed Ventru is the day that the Camarilla falls. So that you hear Sam. Day, stand down.
Yeah, there's a bit of a quick movement too, as Lucas is now standing directly behind where Ashford is being assaulted.
And here's the thing. Ashford's just completely calm, just not even portraying any sort of negative emotion. The man has courage 5. He's not easily spooked. So he's just basically letting him rant and rave right now. But essentially, just waiting for him to calm down. But if he really does try to inflict any serious harm, I'm gonna, fight him off as best I can. That's not the issue. But yeah, he hasn't made any overt movement of threat besides, kind of grabbing me and getting up in my face a little bit.
It's also at this point that those of you that are looking at the other side of the room happen to notice that Andy begins to whistle. As her whistling grows louder, it
Harry
seems
put
to affect Day more and more to the point that he eventually drops Nathaniel back to his feet as he reaches up and grabs his head in abject pain.
Cynthia now quickly covers her ears. He just said it's loud. It's like, nope.
Faye has no idea what's going on, and she's made her way under the table with a cat on her shoulder. Nope, 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 nope. Why does everything always end like this? Nope, nope, nope.
And Lucas moves in
to
between
everybody else, it's
Ashford
just
and
shrill.
Wait, hold on just a
Oh.
second.
Okay.
All right,
Lucas moves in between Ashford and the guy who just assaulted him.
all right. And what was yours, Walt?
I was just going to clarify. To everybody else, it's just a shrill whistle.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not, but it's uncomfortable, maybe.
No, still loud. This is like, eh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even Harry is reacting. He's sort of putting fingers in ears. When it started, he put fingers in ears.
Because keep in mind, would it still carry on from the previous scene? Because she did heighten her senses, so.
Yes, it would.
Oh, that's right. It would. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So it does for just a little
Cynthia's
bit.
probably under the table with Faye and the cat.
She is.
It was just a quivering ball of Malkavian and cat.
Mm-hmm.
Andy eventually, she eventually stops whistling, and you see that Day's pain seems to go away. And after a second, he seems to compose himself and shakes his head for a moment. You see, he looks over to you, Nathaniel, and
Finds himself face to face with the Assamite.
yeah.
As a side note for Faye, Cynthia has the idea to cheer her up a bit for doing a bake sale to promote the cats.
Yeah.
Bake sale for the cats? That's an awesome idea.
Yes, I thought it would make you feel better.
Sam extends a finger as it points towards Day. I've only been at this thing 300 years, but I am of the belief that you, as he points towards you, Mr. Ashford, recompense. Day nods. As he turns and looks back towards you, Mr. Ashford. A trivial boon, shall it be?
He just kind of dusts himself off a little bit. Makes perfect sense to me. No major harm done. And, when speaking politics, of course, there's going to be occasional sparks that fly. He's just completely, nonchalant, just trying to be, pretty jovial, really.
Sam speaks. Now, if my harpy, whoever it happens to be now, could be so nice and so kind as to record that, please.
Ashford, just out of habit, takes out, like, a little sterno pad and records it down.
Now,
And Harry pulls out his phone and makes a note also.
with that being said, can we please get through one night where something like this doesn't happen? I really don't want to have airborne furniture again.
Sorry. When he says, "Can we not have this happen again?" Lucas will look around day and look at the prince and go, "At least there's no furniture this time."
Fabian
The
comes.
flying furniture was scary.
Yes, it was. And you will notice the absence thereof in this room.
Cynthia comes out from under the table. Is it safe now?
Harry will roll over to the two hiding under the table and extend both hands to either one of you and go, "Come on." He's
Actually, the first one who takes your offer is the cat who jumps up into your lap.
okay. He'll scratch the cat with both hands and put both hands back out and wait for you to grab it, and he'll help you up and out.
I grab a hand and kind of clean out my ear. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah, she gets a little loud whenever she gets upset, but you get used to it. And he sort of pushes with his feet as he lets y'all out. Still holding your hands the whole time until you stand up fully.
All right,
And then he finally lets go.
All right, Ian. That is in the chat for you, please.
Oh, 1 second. Behold how you. The response would go back something along the lines of, "Oh yes, because our discussions never go like that."
Yeah, but you could say at least nothing can go wrong for bake sale, right?
Yep. I will tell you this from plot. Unless Walt has something, there is no additional plot advancement in this scene. You guys are welcome for character development, however, if you would like.
Just for scenery, Lucas does not back down and remains between the two, between Ashford and. Did you say his name is Day?
Day.
Michael
Day. Until either Ashford leaves or he leaves, one or the other.
I think someone's bucking for keeper.
And given the fact that actually Ashford is not the type to hold a petty grudge, he would actually be the first one to, sit down, make amends, pour everyone a couple of drinks, and, let things just kind of go because, honestly, he was just pointing out facts, as, in his mind, hey, if the mage wanted to stop us from going somewhere, we wouldn't have gone anywhere. So, yeah. It's like, But yeah, doesn't rage any sort of political estrangement after that. he just kind of keeps to himself and then slowly slides out the door, just sort of thinking how to use this leverage and kind of pointing at yet again. They seems to be a disreputable cognitorial unity, but at the same time, he, he just kind of has his mind swirling on the problem at hand, and then he'll kind of walk out a couple of hours later, a little bit more exaggerated stagger than you might think. I mean, he had been drinking alcohol-laced blood, but being that his fortitude is so ridiculously high, he is honestly probably completely and totally sober.
Alright, as you are heading out, I need you to make me a wits investigation, please.
Mm-hmm. Perfectly fine with it.
+2 difficulty.
Alright. And that's alright. 10, 7, 2, 5, 2.
Alright, so that's a 1 success. As you're heading out there, you happen to see I'm assuming your security vans are black, Ian?
They're not really. They're closer. They're the SUV slash van variants.
All right, okay. That's what you
So,
see
yeah.
sitting some distance away from the castle. This, however, is what diverts your attention as you feel what feels like a burlap bag be placed over your head. You feel yourself get kicked to the ground, and both your arms and feet bound. You feel yourself lifted. You hear what sounds like the hinges of a door creak. You feel yourself land on something metallic, and that door slam. A couple of moments pass, and you feel the bag removed from your head, and you are staring into the face of some kind of scaled fellow. And this face, and I'll give you this because you do have the body language specialty. Everything about this face tells you, oh shit, I fucked up.
Uh-huh. So kind of getting up to a somewhat seated position and kind of observing this creature for a second, but not being addressed or not being cleared to speak, I don't say anything. I just sort of kind of look around, a bit curiously confused, and
All you see around you computer monitors. All of them show all kinds of security footage. The gentleman who you were looking at, his jaw quivers slightly, as if he's looking for the right words. You're not safe.
and hearing this kind of sibilant whisper, no, sir, I'm afraid I'm not.
I am afraid there has been a significant mistake.
Sorry, well, you're gonna have to repeat that one, just.
I'm afraid there's been a significant mistake. And yes, the S's are being heavily slurred.
Yep.
heavily elongated.
So he'll.
Sorry, Will. I would point out that a very similar sounding effect was heard from Lucas earlier when they visited the martial arts.
Yep.
So as you just kind of have the disarming smile, oh well. Trust me, I've had a bad enough night that one more mistake wasn't going to break my back. So who was it you were looking for?
He seems to be looking for the right word. A business partner. And yes, before you ask, I am in the habit of black bagging my associates.
Well, especially when they can hypnotize you with their eyes or use some sort of supernatural means. It's a wise precaution.
You see, he rises from the chair that building a chair seems to be built into the truck, and he opens up the back doors as he pats you on the shoulder. Very well, let us let bygones be bygones, shall we?
Fearing that I might have to tuck and roll in just a minute, he just basically.
Oh no, the truck is stationary.
Oh.
Yeah. You see, also you feel that the binding on your hands and feet, you feel them cut, and it feels more like a zip tie. It feels like zip ties more than rope.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, just kind of rubbing the circulation back into my wrist, kind of casually trying to step down once I'm set loose. I hope you have better luck finding him.
Yes, as do I.
He just kind of bows nonchalantly and makes his way back toward the building and actually going to check around to see if Lucas is actually there.
Lucas is still at the castle. Yes.
So he'll kind of take him gently aside. I don't know what exactly is going on, and he'll move them further on down the hall and, try and put as much distance hearing wise to public and private business as possible. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I was abducted by some rather interesting individuals, and the very first words that came out of their mouths were, "You're not Saint." Some rather nice, sibilant, slithering S's.
Yes, that would be associates.
Associates.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me guess. Van, much like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to make this very clear. I trust you. You've earned my respect. If there's a secret or some other plan that you have in the works, rest assured I'm probably not going to stop it. We make a good team. And it's not in my nature to stop a man from achieving his own ends. But I don't have the energy for this tonight. My head is splitting open, so we'll discuss this at another time. How about that?
Just let me put it this way: they are worse than me. If they'd wanted you harmed, you would have been harmed. They obviously didn't want whoever they were begging to be armed.
This is
In
true.
fact, I went through the same thing earlier. So they are who I called in to deal with Caraway earlier.
Some rather nasty customers. I can see how that would give anyone a bad day.
He'll spend a blood and allow for tongue of the asp. And they spoke like this. And he'd flick the tongue out and flick it up like a snake would scent the air.
And Nathaniel's eyes will just kind of widen a little bit, almost imperceptibly. I'm gathering some rather interesting connections.
Ian, faint whiff of garbage on the air. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yes, so for the moment, don't worry about them. And if anything seriously had gone on in here, they may have came in to our assistance. So
Nice to have friends in high-end low places all over the place. Well, if you need anything from me, rest assured, you can reach me at any time. But right now, I need to go home and pass out.
Question for you though: Did you get the copy of Operation Cross Borders?
Cross.
See
well,
special chat.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah, he would have got
Special
it.
chat.
Ashford would have got it.
it's in that special chat. So just go read it whenever you get a chance.
Sorry.
So email hasn't gone through yet. Okay, you expect an email really soon from me.
Alright. But yeah. Out of character, guys, developing a rather nasty migraine, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So for those of you that for purposes of plot and advancement, this little party continues to go on. Pretty much until the wee hours of the morning, until people have to, until characters have to call it a night and go home. Otherwise, they'll burn. But what will become of Operation Cross Border?
What the hell
this
is
deal with Marquez and Andy? And what is Michael Daly's problem? The only way to find out is to tune in for the next episode of Tarheel by Dark.